It is Thursday. Welcome in, everyone, to the News 10 Plus Digital Desk. I am Taylor Gattoni alongside Nicole Buckman. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I am recovering from the heat from yesterday and the humidity. My hair is still cooperating. That's why I'm waiting to curl it officially until we get closer to the show, because that heat and humidity, that did a number on a lot of people.
Yes.
So I think I think we're good without it.
We could all use a break. We still have today to get through, unfortunately, but we'll push through until tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. But, we're things are heating up on Studio 10 because we are continuing to welcome in MSU students. So that's been the theme of all this week. We're doing a fall welcome with them as the community opens up their doors, opened up their business to them. So are we. Today we're focusing on the MSU Union. So we are heading there because they have three new businesses that are in the union.
Okay.
For both the students and the community to check out. One is Strange Matter Coffee.
Oh,
yes.
Strange
So that
Matter's
is a new
good.
addition. So we show you that, and we show you too how easy it is for how you to gear up for the spirit shop that they have in there, which was really
So
cool.
much green.
Oh, so much green. And it's so nice because, we're talking to those people and they were saying that like after major games, when, Tucker wears a certain kind of polo, everyone's coming in the spirit shop.
Gotta dress like
to
Tucker.
Yeah, exactly. So we're talking about what's trending for tailgates, obviously, as we're just over, it's a hair over a week before the big game. So super excited to talk about that. And then Claudia is highlighting Gray Wall Music Venue. So it's a brand new music venue. Gray Wall Hall is what it's will be called, and it's one of the halls that are popping up or that are being started up in Lansing.
There you go.
Downtown Lansing, a new music venue.
Brain just stopped.
Brain just stopped.
One of
Because I was
those
thinking of the word of it's located in and it's popping up and all these things combined.
You got it.
It's like I was like a little DJ in my head, Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway.
We're all feeling funky. I feel like it's the weather, the first alert weather day. The heat's getting to us.
Yes,
Yeah.
Claudia will have the information about that and behind the scenes because, I think that's one thing that we love here in Lansing, especially during the summertime. We know how to throw a good festival and we know we have so much talent in the area, but sometimes when it gets to winter, we're like, well, we can't really have a festival outside. So these music venues are so important to have in Lansing that bring in different talent.
Yeah.
So we're excited to kind of showcase what's popping up. That's another word that I was looking for when I was describing Gray Wall Hall.
You got it now.
And then also too, we're talking a little bit about a waffle day. So it is technically National Waffle Day.
Mm-hmm.
And we love a waffle. I know it's just a little bit different than that pancake, but what's really trending now is that the waffle makers, they're so much easier to get.
Is this what Andy said yesterday?
What did he say? I wasn't curious. What did he say?
Should I say it?
Go ahead, say it.
So he was saying, take a cookie, like cookie dough, put that in a waffle maker. Is that what it is?
This time, well, we have three different options.
Because I want to try that. It sounds
Yes,
good.
we're doing cinnamon rolls in the waffle maker.
Oh.
We're making pizza in a waffle maker.
Oh.
And we're making quesadillas in a waffle maker. So similar to that. When did Andy say that? He should be a part of this segment. What the
He said
heck?
yesterday, yeah, but you were out live in the field.
Oh, was
so
he
there you
on the
go.
air or was it?
It was in studio. He was talking about it. But yes, cookies. Yes. Try
Oh,
it.
son of a biscuit. How did
You
they
try
not?
it today.
How did they not? It's
That
okay.
sounds so good.
Yeah.
Because then it would be like crunchy in some areas and like soft in some other. Oh, that would be delicious.
But anyway, we have some good ones, sweet and savory
Yeah.
stuff. So anyway, we're celebrating with that and showcasing that. So lots of little things. Definitely want to tune in for.
All right, thank you, Nicole. And here's where you can go to catch up with Studio 10. Of course, Nicole's talking about, MSU Spirit Wear and all of that because game day, believe it or not, is next, what is it, September 1st.
Next
that
Friday.
Next Friday, there you go. So whether you're rooting for CMU, whether you're rooting for, like Colton is,
Yeah.
or if you're rooting for Michigan State like I am because, that's our alums, well, you can always check it out on Studio 10 where you can go find all the equipment at WILX Studio 10. Super easy. You have something to say, don't you?
Yeah, we should do some sort of wager. We shouldn't because MSU should beat CMU.
I hope so. They need to
but
get it
if
back
they
together.
don't, no one is ever I can tell you all of our producers
never
and
let it down.
reporters
They
that
will
went to
never let it down.
MSU, if CMU beats MSU, they will never hear the end of it from me. Ever.
No, I know you're gonna keep saying it too.
I will be obnoxious about it.
That's fair.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I am excited and got tickets to the game. So
did.
I am very excited to be going.
You're gonna be cheering your heart out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not every day that, my alma mater, takes on MSU. So, yeah, it should be fun.
It'll be a very good time. Yeah, so go check it out, Studio 10. That is coming up 3 o'clock. If you miss it, go to their YouTube page at WILX Studio 10. See how you can gear up for game day next Friday. But speaking of game day and just football in general, we're hearing a lot of practices, games being postponed, delayed towards later in the day, trying to avoid that heat and humidity. And Colton, that is why today is another First Alert Weather Day. Now, we are also getting questions, comments live from our feed here. So we're hearing different things. Hello from the state line. This is from Joy. She is without AC. So, Joy, I can say that there are a few cooling centers around the mid-Michigan area. Cata Transportation, I know, Booze Recreation Center, some in Jackson, other places. Those are the few off the top of my head I can remember. Go check out. You can also call 211. Which will help as well. And there's other cooling centers in the area. So if you do not have AC, if you're out in the heat, please find a cool area to protect yourself from heat stroke, heat illnesses like that. What is your prediction for this winter? Hopefully not warm like last year. That is from Lake Odessa. Am I saying that? Lake Odessa? There we go. And I am an avid ice fisherman with my son. Hopefully lots of local lake ice. Okay, so we will get to that, though, in just a bit. We are still in the heat of summer. We will get to the winter a little bit later. But you are already prepping for winter.
Yeah, that's right. And I'll mention that here in a second.
Yeah.
But we have some weather to get to before then. It's a First Alert Weather Day, so we might as well talk about the weather, right? A lot of people are probably watching to get that information. So let's pull up the computer here. And what we're seeing today, it's very interesting meteorologically today with the weather that we've been seeing so far. It's been less about the heat so far. We have seen a lot of clouds, especially in the Lansing area. There has been some clearing that's been happening in parts of the area. So the heat is still possible later today, but it's really going to be more of a severe weather threat for today than the heat, than what we're seeing. And so the latest update from the Storm Prediction Center actually has a major upgrade to an enhanced risk for severe weather. So that's we were at the level 2. Now we're at a level 3 out of 5 for severe weather today. So you really need to be paying attention to the forecast for this afternoon into the evening hours. I would say that the main window for severe weather is going to be from about 6 p.m. to midnight. And that's really the time frame that we need to be paying attention to the weather that we're going to be seeing because severe weather will be possible later on today. Damaging wind gusts is a big concern. That's the reason why we were upgraded to an enhanced risk, was because of the possibility of seeing damaging wind gusts. We're talking wind gusts of up to 75 miles per hour being possible. That's hurricane strength, by the way, being possible later on today with some of the strongest storms. What's happening is when you have so much moisture in the air, it really allows that to be a concern, as well as some large hail. There is a non-zero tornado risk, as well as some heavy rain. With the storms yesterday or last night, if you lived close enough, they mainly stayed east of mid-Michigan, but a ton of lightning with them, and that's a concern with these as well. So we'll see what ends up developing today. It's a very, very tricky forecast, mainly because we've been staying cloudy, but it might not matter. We may still have enough instability out there to see some showers and storms develop later on this evening. Now, looking at temperatures, really not too bad. We've stayed in the 70s and 80s. The clouds have really been helping us out today, but if we see any clearing whatsoever, our temperatures are going to drop, or I should say, the opposite of that, not drop, but rise really quickly later on this evening. So that's something that we'll need to be keeping an eye on. It's still very uncomfortable. We have very high dew points, so it's very humid outside. But so far, we've kind of missed a lot of the extreme heat for today, which I don't think anyone's really complaining about. I know I'm not. But it's still possible that we jump up into the 80s and maybe close to 90 degrees later on today. Dew points are in the 70s. That's very tropical air. We don't see dew points that high very often. Well, we did see them yesterday, but the heat index values much better here locally, and we have to thank the clouds for this. The clouds that stayed around for most of the day today have kept temperatures in check, because that pink color down on the southwest side of the state, That's hundreds. So we're
Yes.
missing out on that by just a few miles. I do expect these numbers to rise a bit here as we head into the rest of the afternoon and evening hours. So we're not quite out of the woods when it comes to the heat and humidity, but so far it's been held in check because of the clouds, which still remain in parts of the area. So the heat index, you can see our model suggests that it could jump up really quickly there to the triple digits, but a lot of this has kind of been missing us today with the heat and humidity because of the clouds, and we saw some mist as well throughout the day. So here's a look at satellite and radar, and just see those breaks in the clouds every now and then. That's what we're talking about. So if we see a lot more clearing happening, our temperatures will really go up quickly. But if we stay in the clouds, they'll likely stay in the 80s today. But we're going to be watching for some of those showers and storms to pop up here later on this afternoon and into the evening hours. So I want to show you the hour-by-hour forecast. This is a brand new update to this particular computer model. It's a little overdone with the heat because it's saying it's 90 degrees at 2 o'clock. It's not 90 degrees. It's suggesting that there's going to be a little bit more sunshine. We still may see some sun later on this evening, but once we get after dinner time, we're going to see a line of showers and thunderstorms moving in. It could be as early as around 5, 6 o'clock, but I think it's probably closer to 8 that we're going to see this line of showers and thunderstorms move on through. And you can see it packs quite the punch, at least according to this computer model. Many of our other computer models have a similar setup with this line of showers and thunderstorms that's expected later today. So that's why we were upgraded to the enhanced risk for severe weather, because it does look like we're going to see some showers and storms. We have missed out on a lot of this in mid-Michigan. All the storms last night stayed to our east, really impacted places like Metro Detroit. With the heavy rainfall that they saw over there. I saw reports of over 6 inches of rain last night, so we missed out on that. But except for places in Livingston County, they picked up quite a bit of rain last night as well. But the good news is that this will be out of here by midnight, and then we're quieting things down. And we will see some much nicer weather by the time we get towards tomorrow and into the weekend. I think tomorrow's still probably a bit humid, but tomorrow will be better than today, and then the weekend looks even better than tomorrow. So we are in that improving trend, and I'll show you that here. I'll play this into Friday. We'll start the day with some clouds, I do think, and then we'll see some sunshine by the afternoon. And temperatures tomorrow probably only in the upper 70s and lower 80s. So it's going to be a nicer day overall there for our Friday. And then look at this. The 10-day temperature trend. Again, 91 might be a little optimistic now because of the clouds, so we'll see if we get that high in Lansing. But it does look like that we're going to be falling to the 70s for the weekend. Low humidity and lots of sunshine both Saturday and Sunday. Fantastic, almost fall-like weekend. But then we'll see another system that comes in late Monday. It's a weak cold front, maybe a few showers or thunderstorms, but nothing severe with that. But then look at Wednesday.
I'm going to say we dropped down.
Yeah, upper 60s in the forecast, and that 69 might not be low enough when it comes to our high temperature, because we may stay in the middle to upper 60s that day, and then we'll rebound a bit towards next weekend. By the way, we're talking about the MSU and CMU game. That's the following Friday, 79.
That's a good looking forecast.
And it looks like it's going to be dry at this point. So a bit of a roller coaster ride. We got to get through today. It's a first alert weather day with the severe weather chances that we have. Again, talking about damaging wind gusts, large hail, heavy rain, and an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. I would say that through the course of the day, our storm chances probably only increased. So it does look like that we're going to see some showers and storms later on this evening, and some of them could be severe. So my advice for you would be to pay attention to the weather, especially if you're going to go to any high school football games tonight. I do think that we're going to have some problems with the weather tonight for some of those football games, because we're going to have some of the showers and storms around, and obviously they cannot be out there playing with there being lightning. I do think that lightning's a concern. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. It's an interesting weather day overall, because the clouds held on much longer than expected, but it might not matter, which is very interesting meteorologically. But just because of how humid it is, it kind of can counteract some of the, we always talk about needing sunshine for the instability, but if it's extremely humid like this, there's a lot of instability already there to work with.
You can feel it.
And you can feel it. And we were talking earlier, we walked outside this morning and just felt weird outside.
Like something's off today.
Yeah, something's off. So we'll keep an eye on this severe weather threat for this evening. The folks over at the Storm Prediction Center are some of the best meteorologists in the world, not just the country, in the world. And they're putting us in enhanced risk. So I tend to take what they say pretty seriously, so we'll be keeping an eye on this throughout the remainder of the day. We'll be staffed here all evening long, keeping an eye.
You guys are all busy and running around the building. Yeah,
we'll be keeping an eye on this severe weather chance for this evening, because it could be interesting. And especially, the damaging wind gust potential is definitely there. Tonight, there's something called D-Cape.
What is that?
It's basically, so I don't even know how I can describe this.
Okay.
So CAPE is instability. It's a measure of the instability.
Okay.
Convective available potential energy is what
it
CAPE
stands for something. There
Yes.
we go.
So normally, that's in the thousands range that we're looking at.
Okay.
D-Cape is basically I don't want to say it's the opposite. It's not right. It's basically a measure of how much potential is for the air to come down
Oh.
in the cloud. So downward CAPE. The amount of energy there is for it to come down.
Interesting.
So the higher the number for D-Cape, interesting, right? The more potential there is for those strong gusty winds to
Okay.
come down and come out of a thunderstorm.
So I'm going to think D as in down.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe it's downward
Oh,
CAPE.
okay. There
I
we go.
believe so.
Downward cape. Okay. So that's the wind pushing down.
It's the energy that's available for that to do that.
Okay.
It's
a little
confusing.
science lesson
Forget it,
today. There
forget
you
it.
go.
No,
For free.
But anyways, we're seeing high numbers of that.
Yeah.
So
So,
that's why
brilliant.
we have that potential of seeing some damaging wind gusts, and that's why that's probably the greatest risk overall
Okay.
with our storms, as well as heavy rainfall. We saw it last night with all the flooding that happened in Metro Detroit because the storms
Yeah.
just didn't move very much. I don't think that's really going to be the case this time around.
Okay.
Because this is going to be with a frontal boundary and it is going to be moving. So we will see some heavy rain, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of that flooding that Metro Detroit saw last night. And
Right.
even we also saw a lot of flooding towards Cleveland last night as well. So we kind of missed out on that, which
You don't want the flooding.
no. And unfortunately, all that heavy rain fell in Metro Detroit. And the reason why in Metro Detroit it seems like it always floods is because of the amount of concrete. So,
Okay. No place for it to get soaked into
Exactly.
the
So that's why you see cities and especially larger city areas, metropolitan areas get the flooding worse. Not to say if we got a heavy downpour in Lansing, I mean, sure that's would be some
Right.
flooding. So yeah,
ground. Depends on the area, the environment, what's around you.
these
Yeah.
are all the things going on in our minds.
You got all sorts of things bouncing around. Well, because of the high winds, people probably also want to be aware of any power lines, tree branches, and hail is also a concern.
Hail is a concern. And one of the things that would also, if you do end up losing power, the good news is that the heat and humidity is going to be out of here. So the worst of the heat is behind us, which is welcome because yesterday was just nasty outside.
Oh,
So
we were saying like air you can wear, and we were seeing that our glasses fogged up. Yeah, it was.
yeah, notice no glasses today.
Yeah, you played it smart.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh.
But we'll keep you updated with the severe weather chance that we have today. Enhanced risk. So we've seen a couple of them this year, but that's a little atypical. We don't normally see severe risk that high.
Well, to prepare for it, and because it's continuously changing, and our meteorologists will continue to update you both on air and off air, you can download our First Alert weather app. Great tool to have on your phone. You can check the radar, hour by hour temperatures, satellite. You get the live updates and videos, Colton.
Yeah, and we put videos. I put a new update not too long ago. Andy's here, so he'll put another new update coming up shortly. So it's very useful. News 10 First Alert weather app, and it's free on the Google Play and App Store.
All right, well, yeah, go download that. You can also check out any traffic alerts, and you can also do the Follow Me feature and do any notifications. So it'll let you know if, hey, 0.5 miles away, we detected lightning in your area. I get those notifications all the time. I'm like, oh, okay, where are we looking? Where do we have to watch out for? So.
But then also something to keep in mind, if you're not a fan of those notifications, you can also turn that off. So it's very customizable when you get the push notifications. Because if you have the lightning one turned on, especially last night with the amount of lightning that were in some of those storms,
Lots of
you got a lot of
notifications.
notifications. So you can turn them off. It's all in the app, so very customizable.
Just being weather aware. There you go. Well, we also want to share what's coming up during First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news today. So we're going to turn to that. Starting with Mid-Michigan Matters today. Oh boy, we're talking about MSU students being back on campus. They start on Monday, August 8th. And so happening this weekend, there's a Moonlight Extravaganza welcoming students back on campus. This will be happening downtown East Lansing. So we're going to preview that today and tell you what to look forward to this weekend. News 10 at 5, the latest on President Trump as former President Donald Trump as he is set to surrender today at a Fulton County, Georgia jail. We will have more on that coming up. And the News 10 at 5:30, Tanaya Jordan looks at a protest against solitary confinement. Coming up then at News 10 at 6, our Aaron Bowling is with schools to see Oh boy, we're talking about the heat again. Yep, because a lot of those schools, the classrooms get iffy with all of the air conditioning. So tonight is Aaron, excuse me, is gonna see how school buildings are handling the heat and humidity. Because many schools are back in session. So that is what we have coming up during First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news. We had some technical difficulties, so we cannot get to some of the reporters. However, we can bring over Riley Connell because she is here and ready to share she is coming up again. But if you want to see one more time what's coming up First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news, there you go. That is all you need to know. So we'll have more again on all of that coming up. And one more time, if you want to stay up to date with all of the weather, here is where you can go for all of your latest weather updates. Again, Colton will be on for Studio 10 coming up at 3 o'clock, and then he will be on for First at 4. We will have First Alert Meteorologist Andy Provenzano in for our 90 minutes of news. So you'll see him News 10:5, 5:36, 10 and 11. But we also have Riley Connell here to share what she has going on today. And how are you?
Oh, I'm good, Taylor.
Is it better than the heat and humidity yesterday?
Yes. I was just at a...
Let me move this for you so you can scoot in.
Sure.
There we go.
I was just at a park talking to some parents for my story, and it is quite warm and quite thick outside. So if you're indoors feeling some of that air conditioning, say your prayers that you get to stay there. It's not great outside.
No,
Not
it
feeling
is
too
not.
good.
What else is coming up?
Well,
so we talked about the heat, the humidity with the parents.
Yes. So today we're actually talking about heat and humidity unrelated, but we're talking about vaccinations.
Oh,
so
okay.
Ingham County Health Department has just launched a campaign. It's called the Your Shot campaign. And with some of these vaccination rates taking a tip down since the pandemic, they're hoping to encourage more people to start getting their kids and teens vaccinated, get back up to reaching those numbers that we need to be at herd immunity, which is 70% or more of people vaccinated to kind of help build up that immunity. So they're launching this campaign and hoping to push parents to, go to your local health department, talk to your doctor, find out about how you can get your vaccination. So I had a great conversation with some folks from the health department, and then I talked to some parents in the area too, and just got some opinions from them about how they go about vaccinations, where they get their information about it. And we had some parents who had some really good stuff to say. So looking forward to breaking that down. It can be a touchy subject for a lot of people.
It can be a touchy subject. And I wanted to say this is why, you talk to people. We call it MOS, man on the street.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason why we don't just talk to experts is because usually they're the ones advocating for it, or they're the ones with the knowledge. But we want to talk to the people, the community out there in mid-Michigan,
Yes.
to see what your opinions are, how you think you'll be affected. Are you for it? Are you against it? So when we're asking and we have our reporters out in the field, that is what they're doing. They don't just want to, spit out what the experts are saying. They want to hear from you to share how this will really make an impact. And so a question for you, Riley.
Yeah, go for it.
Is with the vaccinations, so many different kinds. Are we talking flu vaccination, overall vaccinations with, tetanus and COVID and all of that?
They're talking overall.
Overall, okay.
So we've got a new strain of COVID that was just identified. So we talked a little bit about that. We just had an infant vaccine approved by the FDA
Yes.
for RSV. So that is also new on top of this new strain of COVID. So it's timely with these new, illnesses coming about that we need vaccination for, but really all around. So they're talking HPV, they're talking like tetanus, they're talking meningitis, all of these vaccinations that are on, that kind of schedule that they give younger kids. So overall, they're saying every vaccination has really taken a dip. And we've touched on this topic a few times here in our office and done some stories about this. But this is one of those first, big campaigns that we've seen from a local health department to really say, kids are going back to school right now. So here's some information for you folks in the community to, make an informed decision about how you go about this with your kids. So.
And it's really hard when kids do get back in school, right? And I mean, in the summer months it gets super busy as well, but when you start getting the kids back in school, back into the routine, and then you have extracurriculars after school, trying to find time to get into the doctor, scheduling that appointment to get your vaccine can always be tricky. So I know a lot of experts, there you go again, they're pushing for people to get their vaccinations, especially before flu season, which I know, coming up in the fall, especially in the
Yes.
winter months. So anything that you can do to prepare yourself and your children for flu season and anything else, just making sure they're up to date on their health vaccinations. But again, that is why Riley is talking to the community.
Yes, that's something that I like to tell people too when we're out there. A lot of people want to know, why do you want to ask me questions? I don't really know a lot about this. And I always try to walk people through this idea of, I've talked to people who have the facts and the figures, and I've talked to the people who are on this end going to say, here's what, professionals have to say or experts have to say. And with people in the community, it's really about, what they can speak to as a member of the community. So
Yeah, we're not quizzing you on what you know, what you don't know. We just want to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about, how do you feel about this, and giving some real genuine opinions. I always tell people, sometimes people are worried that they're going to say something that I don't want to hear, that I'm not looking for.
You're not
And
looking
a lot
for,
of times,
they don't need your approval, yeah.
Exactly. I always tell people, I'm like, anything that you have to say is valuable. So anything that people have to share is valuable, especially on something like this where there's a lot of varying opinions and people who take a lot of different sides on it. So I was happy to hear it all. So that's coming up on News 10 at 6. So people can tune in to find a little bit more about that.
All right, News 10 at 6. And again, that is also when Aaron Bowling is going to see how the heat and humidity is really taking an impact on schools that don't really have any of that air conditioning. So again, today is a first alert weather day. You are cool inside. I am cool inside. Hopefully we're both drinking enough water.
Yes.
And hopefully you are all safe, cool inside with AC, with water, doing what you can to stay hydrated, get the nutrients in you. So, electrolytes, all of that. And again, we do have all of the cooling centers in our area, so you can head to WILX.com for any further information. Again, Studio 10 will be on at 3 o'clock in in 20 minutes. There you go. And then we'll be back on for First at 4. Until then, anything else, Riley?
Oh, I think we covered everything, Taylor.
All right. Well, you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you soon, though. And have a good one.